The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone. Please call me directly, 702-557-6176. I'm available for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. This is the French Workbench Podcast here on a Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. This will be a day of infamy. No, I'm just you guys know this is the most real and behind-the-scenes information on financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs happening here in Las Vegas. And I'm your host, Dan French, with co-hosts. They've been on the show quite a bit. Joey Andron's back. We got Esmeralda Lucia and Mr. Josh Katz. What's up, buddy? How are you today, buddy?
I'm awesome. Great to be here.
Mr. Josh, what's going on, man? What have you been up to? You were on the show how long ago?
Almost 1 year ago to the day. I had just moved to Vegas, so now I'm coming up on a year anniversary. So I've been busy, man. I've been loving the Valley. We live in Lake Las Vegas, you know. I sell booze, so I was slinging gin when I got here.
You sell booze?
I do. I sell booze and dreams.
Dude, well
that's,
then,
that's
I mean, you're probably going to never have a problem during COVID, right? Because people always need the vice, right? Gambling and booze, cigarettes. I mean, dude, you'll figure things. Dude, you'll go into your couch and figure out change if you have to, right? To get something.
Two things during a recession, Dan. Makeup and alcohol are the only things that go up. So
See?
I'm not going to sell makeup, but I can sell alcohol. So I think I'm good for the rest of life. So bring on another pandemic without the mask.
Dude, I think I'm in the wrong industry, man. I think because it's not bulletproof, you know? So you got an industry that's bulletproof. So, dude, thanks for coming back on. We're going to talk a little bit about your business and what you've been about and what Las Vegas, you went to Life is Beautiful, right?
I did. I got to go on Sunday. I joined the Breakthrough Beverage team. Got to see Big Boy from Outkast. So.
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
I love Outkast.
Did you get pictures or what?
I got pictures on my phone. I was up in the Breakthrough suite, so shout out to Breakthrough Beverage for hosting me. It was kind of weird, no Andre 3000, you know, so Big Boy did their songs, but he would cut off halfway through because there's no Andre. So, but still, I mean, who doesn't love Outkast, right?
So like, let me say this, like, so when you go there, is it completely different than what you thought it would be when you, like, is this your first time?
First time.
Right, so is it completely different than what you thought it would be?
Yes and no. I knew that it was a music festival. I knew where it was, but I had no idea that there was multiple stages. I had no idea the level of music acts that get brought to those stages. I mean, that list was long. That list was awesome. So it was
sick, right?
It was sick, man. And I'm talking about rap, techno, any kind of music genre for the most part. And, you know, shout out to the Fremont Street, shout out to the locals, and shout out to all the people that come to our city for it, man. I was blown away to see the amount of people there. And I went on Sunday, and I know it's a 3-day festival. So shout out to the Sunday night people that were still going strong.
Damn, you went Sunday night.
I went Sunday night.
Wow, that's
people
a
didn't
trooper,
even leave.
man.
Yeah.
If you're going Sunday night, that means you got a mission going on,
I
man.
just see Big Boy, you know. I mean, he was my motivator, you know. I've been listening to that dude since I was in high school.
So did you go with a lot of crew? Like, did Joey go with you or what?
Nah, he didn't get the invite.
Oh,
Man.
wow!
Oh, dang.
Wow!
No, I actually got a great invite. You know, again, I work in the alcohol business, so I got an invite from a former colleague of mine. He had one extra pass. I didn't even get to take my wife with me. So, you know, I was in the doghouse a little bit, but hey, again, I got to see sick music. I got to experience the show. It is what it is. But no, it was cool. I got the invite, and it was just a really cool experience. I had only heard about it, again, being in the business.
Yeah.
I'd always done things from a marketing advertising standpoint to support Life is Beautiful. Actually, I had to look it up. It's the 9th year, so they're coming up on year 10 next year. So, again, shout out to the people that envisioned putting this thing together 9 years ago, and to watch how big that true that festival became. And certainly with so many festivals going on right now, Burning Man was just a few weeks ago, and obviously Coachella was a few weeks before that. But again, the turnout, the support.
Dude,
to
you got
this
the
city.
roster down. He's just like one after another. Like, dude, this was this Coachella. Like, I mean, you're not a weekend warrior, are you?
No, I mean, I live
warrior.
vicariously through Instagram, so let's be clear, I was not at Coachella or Burning Man, but no, it was impressive to see, again, the amount of people that were out and the music acts. I'm just blown away at the really how people step
Dude,
up,
Vegas
put
is-
this thing together, and again, 9 years running. Shout out to those guys that thought this up 9 years ago and really kind of started out small and put it on the map.
Esmeralda Lucia, what are you up to? What did you go to the Life is Beautiful as well?
I
or?
did not.
Oh,
My nieces went
dun,
though.
dun, dun.
Yeah, I wasn't because the only night I thought was going to be worth it was Sunday. And
Were you at home reading a book?
no, I wasn't.
Oh.
But I remember seeing my nieces. They went, and I get to see some pictures, and I saw some clients, and just laughed and.
That's
just
it?
That's it. Just drove by. That's it. And
Did you drink or did you do anything?
No, I didn't go. I didn't go this year. I normally go every year, so I was like, I'm been there, done that.
What other
Coffee
things
turkey.
going on in the news do you know about? Anything?
Oh my God, I stay away from the news. No,
You do? You don't watch the local news?
I don't
At least
need
the
to. I
local
hear
news.
about it all day at work.
So you don't have anything that's going on that's new to you, like that you see that you're, Vegas, nothing?
I will say this. I do see more. I think that there's more people in the real estate space. I would say that they're more active now than ever. I'll tell you that.
Oh, they've woke up from their slumber?
they have.
It's like, oh, wait a second. I have to get out of bed and like get dressed now and go to work. Like, Joey Andrew, talk to us about that, buddy. Yeah. So what's going on?
Wait, excuse me.
So he just woke up from the slumber.
Joey,
Talk to us about getting out of bed, Joe.
Joey pulled an all-nighter last night, folks.
I wish my life was that exciting. I didn't even know Coachella was going on, to be honest with you. I had no idea. No idea. What is Coachella? No, not even Coachella. What is it?
What?
What?
It's like-
Well, life is beautiful.
Life is
I had no
beautiful.
idea. I'm in the dark.
Dude, so
I
you're
gotta- I
a
wake up,
family
go to
guy,
work,
right?
come home.
That's
That's
all you
it.
do is you're a family
That's
guy.
it, yeah.
You have kids too, Josh?
We're fur parents. We got 2 French bulldogs.
See, that's the difference. You can go to Life is Beautiful if you got 2, you know what I mean? What is it, dogs, cats?
Yeah, dogs.
Dogs. So talk to me, man. What's
Yeah.
going on in your world? Anything new? What's going on in Las Vegas? Anything?
I really wish I had some exciting story to bring to the table.
Dude, I was thinking the
Yeah.
same thing. There's
God.
nothing juicy in the news right
Well,
now.
what about what
nothing
do you
juicy.
do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
So it started on a cold winter. No, so- I'm not gonna get into that. No, what do? I think pretty much just try to make a living and survive. And I was talking to Joey walking in. There's nothing juicy right now with real estate or lending. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like, what's new this week? Oh, people are just real scared about the market.
Yeah, it's such a weird time. But you said that you're seeing people dust themselves off, wake up, come back into the
I'll
market.
tell you
Are you
this.
referring to real estate agents and lenders, or are you referring to buyers or sellers?
From on all aspects, everybody. So my classes right now, I have a class tomorrow. There's going to be 68 agents, and then my next class I have.
It's at WFG on.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there. So 9 to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have that one, and then I have another one at Urban. Is 114 agents. So all of these agents, I mean, they're different types of classes, obviously coaching and things like that. But I mean, I think right now is a great time, and I'm seeing that agents are waking up, and they're like, hey, we got to do something, and we either need to change our strategy or whatever it is to try to prospect and get people that are interested.
Well, I think, just to that point, there's, this market has been, it's not to say that people weren't busy, but they really didn't have to work too hard to get business because
Yeah.
people were just there. They wanted to come into the market. They wanted to buy. They had, fear of loss, and they just had to take advantage of the low interest rates and housing prices, right? So now it's to that point where it's we have, 11,000 homes on the market, and
Yeah.
things are sitting longer than they should be. So you have these buyers or these agents that are like, oh, geez, man.
Right.
I actually need to go out door knock. I gotta
Well-
send out some flyers. I gotta make some cold calls. What the hell's going on here?
Well, I wouldn't say that homes are actually in the market longer than normal, because 2 years ago, your home being in the market 30 days, 45 days was actually normal.
Yeah.
And we're just back in that pre-pandemic interest rates and also days in the market. So people just forgot. the last 2 years were not normal.
No, they weren't.
They were, they were fast paced. People were in a hurry to buy, and it was a different. It was people were at home all day, had nothing to do.
And I think that's the biggest challenge right now is really educating these buyers that are coming into this market. Like, look, it's a seesaw effect, right? You're never going to have low prices and low interest rates, right? It's always going to be like this, right? So
it's always an imbalance.
It's always an imbalance, right? So people got so spoiled, and so many friends and family members purchased a home with a 2.99 interest rate, and they're like, I want that.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can't get it.
Yeah, right.
it's just not there.
It's
It's off the table for a while, right?
Yeah.
So switching that mindset, like, hey, look, you know what? You can actually get a really good deal on a house.
Yeah.
Seeing some of these home builders reducing prices $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 plus closing costs. So like, what's the trade-off? A lower interest rate? Or are you going to be the lowest house in the community?
Yeah.
Compared on the previous 2 years of homes that were closing in that area, So what is it? What's the trade-off?
Well, I know one thing. Today is Taco Tuesday for Mr. Tim. Huddle, Taco Tuesday. He's first.
I got some Modelo.
We're missing a few in
Hey,
there,
I
so
had
hopefully
tacos today.
you did.
I did.
Yeah, I was watching it was like a documentary on Taco Bell and how Taco Bell got started.
How?
Very interesting. I don't want to go into, delve into that, but I could tell you that nobody knew about tacos before like 1955. Nobody really understood what tacos were. So apparently he was the pioneer of bringing tacos to America. That's what I was told. So I don't know if anybody could really vouch, but that's what the documentary said. He was the pioneer. So
That is a title. The man that brought tacos.
Dude, the Taco Man. And he, it was funny because they started, I don't even know where they started, but they started with a building that looked just like one of those old style Spanish or Mexican buildings. And they had blocks, and they were different colored blocks that said Taco Bell.
Really?
Yeah, different.
Well, I can tell you, I want to say at least like 4 nights out of the week, it's Taco Tuesday at my house. I eat 2 tacos today for lunch at my house because we have so much left over from the night before that it just keeps rolling over.
Does your girl cook those tacos?
Yeah,
Does she?
Yeah, she's actually a really, really great cook. But my kids just started like expanding on their palate, right? So now we've graduated to hamburgers, but my daughter's like, tacos? Like tacos. I heard it. Tacos? Okay, tacos.
Dude,
now it's quesadillas. I'm like, yeah, baby.
Okay, so I'll tell you right now, like the only burger I will take over tacos is In-N-Out Burger, right?
Yeah.
I just went there on Sunday. It was like, we were like, all right, Chipotle or, and I was like, In-N-Out. I mean, I want fries. So I was kind of like a toss-up. It's like, because I go down, Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
Right off to the right, if you're driving, going west or east, you're going east. So anyways, tacos for me and Mexican food is probably my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And then it goes like Asian food, and then it's like American food. Isn't that weird?
I think I just eat the Mexican food like tacos for the margaritas.
Yours are bomb.
I'm like, oh, sweet Taco Tuesday? Sure. Clack.
That's hilarious. So we're going to dive into this show real quick. So first off, we're going to talk about what's happening here in Las Vegas. We just covered some of that. What's the new norm for first-time homebuyers, right? And why are they coming into the market? And why is this a perfect market for them? We're also going to talk about housing starts are on the rise here in August for builders. Very small margin, but also builder confidence is down. And then we're going to end it up with where are rates headed? Where do you guys think? But first, we're going to talk to Mr. Josh Katz here about his business. He's an entrepreneur. He's an alcoholic. I mean, I wouldn't say alcoholic. He sells alcohol for a living. I don't want to say that. Let's talk. Let's
walk that one back a little bit, Dan.
Hi, my name is Joshua Katz, and
I do work for a publicly traded company, so
yeah. He's not a alka. You know what? Go ahead, Josh. So what's up, man? What's your business about?
So I don't. It's interesting, Dan. When I met you a year ago, I was working for a Dutch-based company, the oldest distilled company in the world, Lucas Bols, 1575, so 425 years, representing gins. That's what the Dutch do. And it's about a week ago, I signed up with a new company named Flavier. Y'all check out Flavier.com. They are the world's
Flavier.
Flaviar. Flavier.com.
Flaviar.com. Flaviar.
They are the world's largest
Dude, we got to see this real quick. Oh, wow. Look at that.
private whiskey club. So it's
at
a
this.
really dynamic company because they're out of Slovenia.
Uh-huh.
What they do well is they create customer experience. So you, me, Joey, Esmeralda, we like whiskey, but we don't want to commit to one bottle. What we can do with Flaviar is we can sign up for their membership, and every 90 days they send us 3 vials, 50 mLs, like you would get on an airplane, of the best whiskey and scotch that you can get. And they source this not only domestically, but all over the world.
Really?
So rather than going into a store and investing 100, 150, 200, you can actually sign up with this company, and every 3 months you show up and you got a nice little tasting kit ready for you with some of the best whiskey, some of the best scotch available. So it's a really unique concept, and it's a really awesome company how they've been able to cultivate this membership. They got an awesome package coming out in December, which I'm super excited to represent, called the Advent Calendar. We all know Advent, it's those days leading up to Christmas. So it's 24 different vials of whiskey. So every day you get to sit down from December 1st, leading up to the 24th, and you get to sample something, whether it's from Japan, whether it's from Scotland, whether it's from Ireland, whether it's here domestically produced. So check it out, Flaviar.com. You will not be disappointed. They do nothing but source the best whiskey, the best scotch. And they're just a really, really cool company, Dan.
So what is the best alcohol, or the most, I would say, desired alcohol out there right now? What type of alcohol do people are looking for? Is it like the liqueurs? Like what are people going into? Because I know there's a lot of different, there's a lot of different varieties.
Yeah.
You have alcohol, like what is it? It's almost like what is the name? It's like a malt, almost like a malt liquor. That's new, but it's like 0 calories or 0. There's a lot of things.
Old English, 800.
Old English, right?
St. Ides.
St. Ides. There's a lot of alcohol that's like about like fitness, right? It's about like do you guys offer that where people are cautious about their calories? They're like, dude, I want to get drunk, but I don't want to like gain a pound tomorrow.
I mean, the more whiskey you drink, I think you feel stronger and lighter, and more empowered. But no, what I would say, Dan, to honestly answer that question,
Intermittent fasting tomorrow.
it's I mean, you got 4 spirits. You got vodka, gin, whiskey, and rum. Those are really the 4 spirits everybody know. But what is super exciting, super sexy, in the hottest category right now, it's agave. It's tequila. And so I'm going to give tequila a shout out right now, because tequila, unlike any other alcohol, all alcohol, the way that our body ends up processing it, ends up being a depressant. Tequila, the way our liver processes it, becomes a stimulant.
Really?
So, super cool.
Really?
So shout out to Joey on Taco Tuesday night, Wednesday
what you're
taco
saying
night,
is-
Thursday taco night. But yeah,
I get
tequila gets
So he's
Really?
healthy on taco night.
yeah, and tequila, you'll have really very minimal heartburn, very minimal hangover, because again, the way that our body processes agave and tequila, and good tequila, I'm not talking about the tequila we all probably drank in college.
Cuervo with the worm.
Exactly. So
let
wear
me
the
say this.
lampshade on your head, but agave spirits. Everybody get hyped on agave. Agave is the source.
Agave. You taking notes over here?
I am.
Taking
I am.
notes.
What about what's the difference of the dark tequila and the light tequila?
Yeah,
The
that's a really good.
Posado and
That's a really great question, and the simple answer is aging. So really, what
I think I said that right. It was Posado.
Yeah,
right?
the reposado, the añejo, the extra añejo. What they're doing is they're taking agave and they're aging it on barrels. They're aging it on whiskey barrels. They're aging some of it on oak, French oak barrels. And so they're taking that Blanco tequila and they're aging that. And so it's coming away with that darker color. It's coming away with that.
How
brown.
long do they age
It's
that
like
for?
a sweeter, like a sweet.
And they're actually aging some tequilas now in old red wine barrels. So the guys down in Jalisco, all these guys, these farmers, these distillers, it's really, they've been doing this for years. Let that be known. But it's about 2 years that it's really come to light in the U.S. And now obviously there's so many celebrity tequilas. Tequila is hot. Everybody used to have this sort of nose in the air, like, oh, I hate tequila. I don't like tequila. Tequila makes me do bad things. No, you just drank shitty tequila.
So I'm thinking like this. You're giving me all these nuggets here. I think I'm going to use it as a pre-workout. You know what I mean? Because it stimulates. So I'm just going to take a shot of tequila and say, dude, I'm hammering today. Like, would people actually do that? Would it work?
Well, this is not a plug, but I think we all love him. So shout out to The Rock. He's got a tequila called Terramana Tequila.
Ooh,
and if you
I
follow
love
The
The
Rock on
Rock.
his Instagram, one of his post-workout drinks is
It's
he
tequila.
enjoys a reposado tequila. Because again, tequila in a good form, it's clean. It's clean on the body. It's clean on the liver. Again, you wake
Really?
up,
It's clean on the liver,
it's
too?
clean on the liver because
Wow.
think what I just said. The way your liver processes it, rather than waking up and feeling dehydrated and feeling a little crappy, your body processes it so it wakes up. You have a stimulant. So,
Dude, this is amazing stuff right now. I think I'm just kind of like hit an epiphany because I think my new thing is like when I do
Tequila.
drink, I'm drinking tequila because
You
I didn't
should.
know it had this many things going.
What
on.
kind of tequila though?
I don't
well,
know.
that's where I'll leave you all to your own research. There's a lot of tequilas, but you really want to look for an additive-free tequila. So I will plug a tequila right now, Partita Tequila.
Partita?
Partita. It's a
Never
small
had
batch
that.
family coming out of Jalisco. No additives, no sugars, no extra vanilla. They're really sourcing the best agave that they can get. And so shout out to Partita Tequila. It is the most additive-free tequila on the market. So as everybody's looking for tequilas, just kind of take a look on the bottle, talk to the people in the liquor store, but you really want to get a tequila that doesn't have vanilla added to it, doesn't have a bunch of sugar added to it, and certainly doesn't have additives. And I
like
promise you, you will
1800.
really enjoy it and you will feel great the next day.
I'm going to tell you guys, you are watching the French Workbench podcast right now. It's not, listen, stay tuned. We're going to talk about housing here with Joey. And speaking of Joey, if you guys have any comments or any questions for Joey or anybody in here about tequila or anything, leave them in the comment section. I also want to go over to this comment section because we have a comment here for Joey. It says, this dude Joey looks like he goes to those festivals and uses the glow sticks and dances. I mean, is that Joey? Did you used to do that?
110%.
We made that comment. We might know that person.
Did you do the glow stick thing?
No, I didn't.
You know that song?
Yeah,
And then
no, I know the song,
everybody's
but
like, "Da-da-da-da-da." You're right.
Oh,
And then
please
you were
keep going. Keep going. I'm gonna start flicking the lights.
Flashbacks.
You didn't do that, Esmeralda? Come on, man. You look like a party girl. You were
I
in,
did. I
you
did
were
my
in
thing.
prison at one point.
No, but I did party. I did my thing when I did what I did. I had fun. I did.
So listen, we're here talking with Mr. Katz here. And so let's talk a little bit more about you being an entrepreneur. Are you an entrepreneur?
I am.
Okay. What made you want to get into that business? I know it's going to stick around because it's bulletproof for any COVID out there or any pandemic for the most part. What made you want to go into this business though?
What made me want to go into it is the hospitality business first and foremost. And what I recognized early on is whether it's real estate, whether it's finance, whether it's, anything and everything, it all kind of revolves back to a few things, and that's hospitality. And so that's great food, that's great spirits, that's great wine. Great spirits, great wine, great cocktails bring people together. Whether you're a drinker, you're not a drinker, in some way, shape, or form, it really unites people, and it unites a lot of different industries. So, you look at the music industry, you look at the sports industry, you look at the tech industry, all those industries have a dotted line back to some form of spirits.
Really?
And so, that's what I kind of realized early on. That's what I went to school for, because I wanted to be in hospitality tourism. I saw it as a global business that could take me around the world, that could help me meet people, that could connect me to different industries that I wasn't smart enough to be in.
Dude,
and
crazy.
so, again, when you look at all these different industries, and Back to Life is Beautiful in these music industries, they all have some layer of a spirits business in there. And then it really dovetails, Dan, off of a lot of other stuff. So it's helped me pursue other passions that I'm passionate about, and has kind of opened a lot of doors in the plant-based medicine space, and everybody has a connection to it because of a spirit business.
I want to play. Is this a video right here? Can we play this video? What is this? Can you play this? Or what is that?
I don't know. What's interesting about this is Nevada, because it's probably picking up. This is how smart this company is. They will actually geo-target into where we're looking from. And there's 3 states that are left right now for the U.S. that Flaviar is not licensed in, Nevada being one of those. So it might not play for us. If we can change our location to California or Texas.
Yeah.
So
That's why it's a California, or it's a Nevada thing?
Updated.
Yeah,
it here.
update location. Yeah, see, we
Oh, I
detected you're
see.
in Nevada. So
Let's just say we're in California. Can
yeah.
we play it now? Please, I just want to see. Come on, Callie. Nope. Oh, wait.
It did.
It tried. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you look at this and you say, well, people look at, making money, and you look at this alcohol and this how big it is. You got a lot of top celebrities that start their own chain, right? Mm-hmm. And is it because there's such high returns on it? I mean, why does everybody get into, say, an alcohol industry or selling something like wine or some type of alcohol or creating their own alcohol? Like you had, what is his name, McGregor. What is this alcohol?
Proper?
Proper
12.
Proper
Yep.
12.
Yeah.
And then he sold it for like what, 600 million or something? I don't know what the number
it's
was.
insane.
It's crazy, but people want alcohol and they want variety, and that's kind of what you're
Hey,
trying.
Maluma just has his own beer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
bought one.
simple word. I think the simple answer is reach.
like, oh.
Because
Yeah.
again, it's a global reach, and it's a language that we can all speak. So,
Yeah.
you know, I've met people all over the world that we can't have a conversation, but we can certainly raise a glass to each other and, you know, cheers, salute, chalanche, all that is understood. So, you know, it is a really common sort of meeting point, if you will.
I was at the AMPM, fine, you know, spirits and wine over there. And you got, what is it? Martha Stewart has her own label and it's wrapped. And also Snoop Dogg has his own label. And I was like,
Snoop
wait a
Dogg's
second.
got Cali
Yeah, man, it's
Red.
like they both got, and they're all chilling next to each other. You know, it's like, wait a second. So AMPM is stepping their game up.
Martha
Dang.
Stewart's stepping up her game. She has houses. She has all kinds of
Dude.
stuff.
What is she selling? Is she selling box wine? What is she selling?
No, she's selling a full bottle of wine with the
Yeah.
with it's
didn't know
labeled.
that.
Yeah, go in the AMPM. You'll check it out. 15 bucks.
I just saw some rugs with her name
I think she was in prison. She's like,
at
all right,
Costco. I was like, oh, okay.
my second wind is going to be big. She's thinking in prison. So
Hey,
I
it was
like, wait,
big. It was big. Her time in jail, she
she made it happen, huh? All right, let's go ahead and segue. But I want to say, Josh, thanks for coming on. I want you to add to anything you think about. You've been here for what, a year now?
A year now, yeah.
I want your take on what's happening with this market, how much of a roller coaster ride it is here in Las Vegas, because I feel Las Vegas is just an outlier, and it's just different than all of the markets. You know, you have tourism, you have people who want to be here, it's desirable. Even though we've seen a slowdown, there's some markets and pockets in the country that are completely dead right now. We're still kind of creeping along, right? Still have people out there, first-time home buyers. So we're going to talk a lot about what's happening with first-time home buyers and what's the new norm. So, Joey, kind of lean on you for this a little bit. First-time home buyers, are you dealing with anybody out there that's first-time home buyers right now?
I have a couple. New home buyers, first-time home buyers. You know, we're just kind of like in a weird kind of market. You know, it's like we come from like a hot market to this like almost unknown. You know, it really is. It's hard to grasp.
Yeah.
And people ask me all the time, but you know, you look at the metrics and they change daily and they change so drastically. You know, the landscape changes of what it once was just a few months ago to what it is today. You know, and the conversation is always, what are rates doing? What are rates doing? You know, the rates are going up. What are they going to do? Are they
Is
going to
that the
come
deciding
down?
factor?
It is, because I mean, look, they go up a quarter point, they go up an eighth of a point, whatever the number is, and people start freaking out, and right. So then they feel as if, oh my God, am I catching a falling knife? Or you know, when's the right time to buy? Before they couldn't get involved fast enough to take advantage of the low interest rates and trying to insulate them from increased prices in the housing. To now, it's like, I can give you $100,000 off, but the interest rate's going to go up just a little bit more. They're like, oh, I'm not touching it. You know, and it's like, how do you change that psyche? You know, it's really interesting.
Tough.
So, I mean, we deal with it on a day-to-day basis, and everybody's situation is different, right? So it's whatever makes more sense. And I tell people, look, what's your long-term play? Or your short-term play? You know, what are you looking to do with this home? Are you relocating with your family? Are you guys going to live in it? Or are you going to flip it? You know, then you try to like dial in what makes more sense, right? Everybody needs a place to live, you know, and you're going to buy a house. You just have to make a decision if you're going to buy or pay for your landlord's house because you're buying it for him, or you're going to buy your own house for yourself.
Right.
So regardless of how you slice it, you're still going to be paying someone's mortgage, yours or the landlord's. What makes more sense?
So I think here's some of the things that I was going into. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Historic average growth, and we can go back and forth. Everybody here has an opinion, including you, Esmeralda. I want to get your opinion on this. Is 4% is the historic average growth for home appreciation, right? The large demand we saw, the imbalance that we saw in Las Vegas last year and the year before that, including into this year, and where the imbalance is we have more properties now than we have really buyers, I would say, in the market because of rates. We're still not at 6%, or not 6%, but 6 months average. We're at 3 months average of homes on the market, right? Months supply. So we're still not at that level where we need to be. We're still a lot less than where we were at 2008 as far as inventory in the market. Yet home affordability is down 50%. And you look at buyers today that's 35 and under, it only increased by 0.8% for people out there trying to buy into a home this year, where we had record years last year. And I think with that that category of people, I don't know if it's Generation Y or Generation Z, I don't know which one it is, but they are more sensitive, extremely sensitive, which they should be, to the rates. And I think first-time home buyers, demographics, those are the highest buyers right now I would see in the market. And so when you see first-time home buyers out there, what are some of the challenges they're dealing with when they're going and looking for a home today? Because look, you got 3 months supply, but what are some of the other things they're focused on or hypersensitive about as far as payments? What are they saying? Well, I don't know, man. I'm not going to go over 400 because I'm not going to be mortgage broke. Or economically, I want to be secure. Financially, does it make sense to buy? Because I've seen all these things happen. So I think when you're looking at those generations, those coming in, those first-time home buyers, what you don't, maybe you're not knowing or not familiar with how things roll. Maybe that's your best bet, right? Because you're like, well, I don't know what these types of markets were. I'm just going to go bet on this market as first-time home buyers and deal with the higher rate, even though people are telling me it's higher rates. I mean, are they still having challenges, even first-time home buyers getting into this market?
Yeah, I think first-time home buyers, you ask a lot of questions, right? And you go, where does everybody start their home search? Online, right? And most people are glued to their television and they're watching the news. And what if you add everything together, what is that? It's like doom and gloom, right? And first-time home buyers are, it's very unknown. It's the biggest purchase they're ever going to make, most people in their entire lives. And they want to be financially sound, right? They don't want to be, like you said, mortgage broke or house broke. But you have everybody, all the influences coming in, all the noise coming in from around them, saying, oh, the interest rates are going up. The interest rates are going up. Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? Oh, the housing market's going to crash. Everything's going to implode. You're going to buy the house today at 400 and tomorrow it's going to be worth 300. Remember 2008? Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's like, so they have all of these variables and they're taking in all this information and then it's hard for them to make a decision.
Is there too much information out there?
Too much information.
It's like you don't know what you're doing at this point. Look, a lot of people have family that like to put input. You have a lot of people out there that watch the news on a daily basis, right? And you see the media out there putting out that, record high rates and probably not the best time to buy and we're heading for a recession. So you have all of these layers. And then you have somebody out there that's like, well, I want to buy a home just because I have to lay my head somewhere. And then you have to come over all those challenges. Then you got to try to sell them a house or at least get them into a house, right? So it's hard.
It comes down to this. If the deal makes sense and you like the house where you're going to live, buy it. That's it. End of story. It's really simple. I mean,
it sounds easy. Let me say this.
Financial
security.
Wait. Let me back it up because I sound probably short and kind of like whatever, but because I deal with it on a daily basis and I talk to so many home buyers and we do a tremendous amount of transactions per year. So I might be a little insensitive to it because I see through it, right? And I look at the data and I look at people at the end after they go through everything they put themselves through emotionally. When it comes time to get the keys, they're super happy. They're stoked. And they have a house for them and their family. Maybe it's something that they're growing, they're going to grow into. They just moved their family from across country, from California, wherever it is, but they're happy. I've never closed on a house and somebody say, I am so pissed off that I just closed on this house because you know what? I think I could have saved 20 grand.
It's that hurdle beyond that first.
It's leading up
part.
to it.
It's
just like getting over. It's a very emotional purchase, and when you have a lot of noise, influencing your decision or getting in your way, it just makes the process, uncomfortable and it doesn't make it enjoyable. But if you can block out the noise and you can see the vision and put your eye on the prize, you will be happy. Regardless of what the interest rates are. And of course, like I said, everyone's situation is different. It has to be affordability. And if the rates go to 6.5% or you're at a 6.875 and you're trying to buy a $400,000 house and it doesn't pencil, don't buy it, right? Go down, see if you can, buy a $300,000 house that you like. And if you can't, then maybe you want to rent for the next year, see where the market goes or save up some more money,
So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to talk with you, Josh, and also you, Esmeralda. So that's a good point. And Joey is a real estate agent. Look at Joey's seasoned, right? You've been down this road. I think you have a lot of experience. So when you're talking about some of the things that you're going through, a lot of these people haven't experienced that. And I think that's why it's like you say, well, they're always happy and it's really just the challenges up front. You're talking from experience as a real estate agent, but also in life, right? And I think that's the difference is that in life, you have lessons that are taught. And has there ever been a time, and we're not going to be biased, but has there ever been a time where somebody was like, man, I really wish I never bought that house? Because it seems like markets always come back, houses always typically come back, and people, that's the biggest investment. When I don't call it an investment, but it's the biggest thing that they put their money into that typically gives them a return on investment. Would you agree to that, Joe?
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, there has been situations to where people have buyer's remorse, right? And it's typically in a market where it's super inflated, like this past 2 years, right? When people are like, gosh, I can't believe I had to spend an extra $100,000 on a lot premium, or I can't believe I had to spend, an extra $25,000, $30,000 above appraised value, because then it limits them on what they can actually do when they get into the property, of any upgrades or changes they want to make. So there, it's a soft kind of like remorse, right? But it's never like, oh my God, I can't believe I bought this house. It's a piece of crap. I got slammed into it, and and they're unhappy, right? It's typically just like that.
It's jitters.
It's
right?
jitters. Yeah,
It's
jitters, or if you feel as if you're going to overpay, whatever. But you get over it because all of that goes away within the first 30 days. Because now you're living in the home, your family's there, you're happy, you're growing within the four walls, and you're happy. Now
I'm going to make an argument though, and I'm not going to say this is to counter what you said, but I can see it from their perspective as well, in a sense that you got to think that for the years that they've been around, which you're talking about Generation X, which is my generation, Y, Z, for the most part, as we've been older to buy houses, have rates been over 6%? Probably. I don't even think they've ever have been since the last 10, 15 years. So when you're accustomed to something and you're unfamiliar with something, I think those things, and psychologically it changes, where it's like, wait a second, okay, rates are this high, inflation's going up, financially I want to be secure and I want to be stable. Josh, have you been in a position when you bought your home, obviously it was a different world when you bought your first home, did you have challenges and thoughts the same way Joey is saying his clients have gone through?
Yes and no. When I bought my house, I don't think there was near as amount of information that we're exposed to. I mean, you turn on the TV, you open your phone. Again, it's so much information coming at first-time home buyers about do this, don't do that. Then, everybody's got an opinion, right? So I think it was a little different for me in that scenario, but it was still the most financially emotional time of my life, because that's what it was.
If you were to look back, would you do anything different when you bought your first house?
I probably would have looked a little bit more. That's my only sort of hindsight, because I got so excited that I was going to be a home buyer or a home owner, and that I had the opportunity, that I think I got really excited and maybe pulled the trigger a little bit too quick. But that would be my only thing, because I think that's what we all live for, to at one day own a home, whether it's a certain size, a certain value, whatever it is. That home ownership, I think, is, at least to me and my family, that's the biggest tick in the box, is to put that down.
Yeah, and it's different. Like everybody's era is different, right? Generations are different. People have different thoughts and perspective on how they grew up, their family's experiences, what they saw their parents go through. Mm-hmm. For yourself, Esmeralda, did you go through the same thing when you were buying your first home?
Yeah, when I bought my first couple homes, if I could look back and change some things, one, I didn't understand the options I had to keep some of those properties, because I had quite a bit of investments at that time, and the market tanked. And if I would have had the wisdom I have today, I would have never lost those properties. And what I did learn was that, even though the market might be inflated and you might have bought maybe where you felt like, hey, my lot premium, I paid $100,000, and, you feel remorse for it, don't. Because, a tangible investment will never be a loss as long as you hold on to it, and you will get your money back. And always remember that you're building for generations under you, and this is not a one-time thing. And if you continue, this is something that can help you, retire. And if you have a vision that will help you, then you will see the bigger picture instead of seeing the picture that's today. And when you're stuck in fear, you can't make decisions, and you make the wrong decision based on fear and other people. You should never listen to people that are not doing what you're trying to do. Now, if they've done what you're trying to do, then that's a different story. But people will always give you an opinion, and it's usually the people that have never done what you're trying to do. And that's my advice.
So you take certain things from people, but you also put it in your own perspective. But you brought something up that's very important, is generational wealth. And you're saying when you buy into a house, generational wealth is passed on. And one of the things I can say is that, you don't have to be a smart person out there to understand that if you buy into a house, I'm not going to say every time it's a return, but people have to buy shelter, and there's a cost to that. Depending on whatever market you're in. I knew a person, I got a story that I had an uncle, and actually my mom told me this story, was, he bought into homes. I don't know how smart he was. I couldn't say. I mean, he probably smart in some ways, but book smart, I don't know. I don't know what that IQ was, but I can tell you that when he was buying into these homes, he bought 3 or 4 homes and financially set his kids up because he bought those homes. Now, again, does that mean everybody's going to get financially set up? No, but every time you buy into a house or something like that, typically you get some type of return on it. Now, I don't call a house an investment, though, because you're not getting a return every month. I have a different thought process on it. I think it's the capacity of paying credit, right? And also having the ability to, lay your head at night knowing that you have a fixed payment and you don't have to worry about rents going up $400 or $500 every single month. So now that we've all had a discussion on what's happening with first-time homebuyers in your, experience, let's talk about what first-time homebuyers are going through today, not just with resale homes, but also builders, right? And new builders, and you do a lot of new building. So let's talk about that, Joey.
So there's a lot of opportunity out there. We went from 2,800 homes on the market to roughly 11,000 homes on the market, and that's not including the new home builds. So when we were out there house shopping, I mean, there's a lot of inventory, right? There's a lot of inventory, and what comes along with that are incentives. So, coupling that with the first-time home buyer, you really want to be, very aware of your cash, right? Your closing costs, your down payments, if you want to do the rate buy down, whatever it is, right? So being able to take advantage of some of these incentives that these home builders are offering is definitely key, right? So now you're in a buyer's market, so we have a lot of leverage. And what we're seeing now, and I've never seen this before, like I've been doing this since 2008, but like on the new home build side, it wasn't like a really big thing in Miami. We would do like more condos and things. So this is my first experience with it, with new home builders. But from what I heard, they never reduce their base price. Like they always keep that consistent, and they'll offer incentives and bring down the lot premiums. They're reducing their base prices.
Wow.
Like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in some communities.
So that's not all communities, it's some communities.
It's some communities.
But is it they way overpriced, and are they going to be taking losses on this now?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to think, right? They all have credit lines, right? So they want to get the houses off the books, and then they want to start new developments, right? But I mean, whether they're taking a loss or not, I don't know. I mean, everything, we were talking about for the past 2 years, the cost of construction, lumber, everything was through the roof, and they had to adjust for those prices. Now, obviously, they raised the prices $15,000, $20,000 every time they sold one home in the community. So they obviously escalated that, and they inflated the prices. So how much are they losing? I don't know, right? But they're going to bring them down back to reality and affordability for the consumer. But the point of the story is, with new home builds, there's so much opportunity, because think of if you purchased a home 90 days ago, 120 days ago, right? And what you had to do in order to get that home. And some of these homes were $700,000, $800,000 in these communities. Now we're able to pick them up at $600,000, $625,000, and you get credits towards closing costs. Or if, depending on which stage it is, they'll give you a design center credit to where you get a credit towards flooring, cabinets, countertops, whatever. So. And I always come on the show and I'm like, I'm super optimistic, right? Because I'm always looking at.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I think that there's a level where people think you're an agent, you're selling.
Yeah.
And, you're just selling us to get a house. Look, man, you could go into a life situation and be, hey, man, doom and gloom and life sucks and whatever. You're looking at the best output of life, right?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. But also, there is some real to what we're saying, because the realness is, maybe it's not a good time for you to buy a home. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we're going to give you the pros and cons. We're not going to sit here and be like, dude, go out and buy a house because we're realtors and lenders and everybody wants. No, dude, it's like, look, if you think it's the right time, where I see this market increasing is first-time home buyers. That's why primarily we are talking about first-time home buyers and the challenges that Joey and most of these agents are going through today. And so these incentives and these opportunities for these builders out there to now, look, they're not going to lose money. They made a ton of money on everybody already.
Yeah.
They've already made their quota. They're just not making as much. But going into this could be your time to shine if you're a first-time homebuyer.
It is, and I've gotten tremendous deals. I've even in the resale. So one of the houses that I'm in contract with right here in Henderson, it was listed at $950,000. After we went back and forth a few times, we got it down to $883,000, and we got 2% towards closing costs. That's $17,000 right there on top of that, plus repairs. There are 2 other houses in the community that closed this month at $1 million that were both model matches. So there are opportunities depending on where you want to look at it. And again, like I just want to go back to it. I always look for the opportunities and for the deals, right? I can sit here and be like that typical guy on YouTube or social media and just try to get followers. Ooh, the market's crashing. It's not the right time to buy. Rates are up. Oh my God, did you see what the Fed is doing? Everybody does that.
BS.
It's BS.
Yeah,
but because if you really like turn over a rock, you'll find a good deal. And right now, I mean, you don't have to turn over too many of them because they're all over the valley. And home builders are trying to they're trying to make the best deals to move the inventory. Same with the home buyer or the sellers, right? They're listing their homes and you'll just see them 5%, 12%, 15%, 20% reductions, not within like over 30 days. They're like within 4 or 5 days. You're seeing these price drops, right? And now you have listing agents calling, hey, you just showed my home. Hey, any interest? Hey, listen, we're really willing to negotiate. You know, it's like,
well,
that didn't happen for the past 2 years.
I'm going to make an argument about that too. So new builders, right, offering incentive, you have to ask yourself this question. If you're out there selling your house and we have 3.5 months supply, over 11,000 homes on the market right now, I think across the market in Clark County, where do the sellers go? So if you're saying, well, maybe sellers aren't willing to budge or maybe they're not willing to give as much, maybe buying a new home is a lot easier because they are throwing everything at you to get you into that house. So builders are out there to entice you to get into these houses. They're throwing a lot of incentives. Anything else that you can say about builders? I know they're buying rates down.
Yep.
They got they're even some of the situations is they're buying it down where you buy it down 2 points plus additional closing costs or other additional incentives.
Yeah,
I mean, how far are they going on this?
They are basically throwing everything at you in the kitchen sink, no pun, but they're doing everything they possibly can. So, you know, we get lists from all the home builders and, you know, like Richmond American, they just sent me a list of homes all over the valley. I think there's probably maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 homes on that list, and they're willing to negotiate and move this inventory. Because what they want to do is they want to move it right before rates keep going up, right? Because they are going to go up.
Yeah.
So they want to move the inventory where it's still affordability, and they get these pockets, get the buyers into these homes, close before the end of the year, use their credit lines and start developing new land because they're going to start developing. They have to, or their credit lines get eaten up, right? So
sellers out there. Let's talk about the sellers too.
And the sellers, they know the competition, right? They know the competition, and they know that the homes are going to be sitting on the market for a lot longer. The longer that they sit, homes in the neighborhoods are going to start fluctuating, right? Some are going to close a little higher than others, but you know, they're going to want to sell it as fast as possible.
What are sellers on a resale home? What are they giving right now? I hear they're buying the rate down.
Yeah.
I hear they're giving extra closing costs. They're paying for everything. Like, what are you seeing out there?
I mean, closing costs are huge. Like the one I just mentioned, we're getting 2%. So we're getting $17,000 towards closing costs. A listing that I have, we offered a $5,000 towards a rate buy down. But I mean, look, I tell all my clients, let's just go after the house. What's a reasonable number that you think we will get a response from the seller, right? I don't know what their situation is, right? We don't know that until we get the dialogue going. I can call the listing agent and he's going to tell me exactly what I want to hear and say, submit an offer, we'll negotiate. Okay, great. Until you put something on paper, and I've thrown out some crazy offers, and you sometimes are pleasantly surprised. You get everything that you ask for because they just want to move the home. So think about this. If you can save an extra 3%, an extra $20,000, $15,000 towards closing costs,
and you buy the rate down.
And you could buy the rate down, right? Which could be a couple $100 in your payment, right? And it's free money. You keep money in your pocket for improvements or things you want to do in the house, or you just want to, buy some new appliances or whatever. I mean, there's so many ways you can
Deal with it.
I mean, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of opportunity out there.
That's the information that I don't think is available. I mean, it's all more about
Right.
the doom and gloom and the rate and the Fed
Dude.
and all that stuff. But what Joe just said is not. That
It
is
doesn't
not
get button
necessarily
clicks.
widely, out there. I mean, that's exciting.
One thing I want to say about his topic or his comment, and I'll bring this up to you too, Josh and Esmeralda, is that it doesn't mean we're not going to decline more. I think this market's got another decline percentage of probably at least,
Couple more months.
well, I would say at least another 10%.
Yeah.
I think it's not unrealistic that single family residence homes were at 450 would be hovering around 410, 405, right? Let's say, second quarter, right? End of first quarter of next year. That doesn't mean it's a crash though. And I think there's a misconception. We're doing a correction. Also, the labor market, things like that, and data, we still don't have all these things to say that this is going to happen. So for me, I just say this, like that's to get buttons, to click buttons, YouTube, things like that. Psychologically, where are you at in this housing market right now, Josh? Do you feel confident about it? Are you bullish or bear?
I'm bullish about it because, I mean, my small amount of information and education on the market, I feel like anything, the pendulum always swings. So right now we're on the one side of the pendulum, and that pendulum's going to come back. And if you look at a lot of other things that are going on right now, listen, the cost of alcohol is up, the cost of food is up. I mean, we all know it. The cost
Gas
of
is
everything
up.
up.
Yeah.
Gas is up, exactly. So it's not just the housing market that's over here, as an isolated case. Everything's up. So, it is what it is, and the pendulum will swing back. I think, that's why I feel bullish about it. There's no reason.
Esmeralda, what do you think? I mean, do you feel confident about this market? Let's be real too.
I think that the market is fluctuating. I think that it will stabilize. I don't think that the market will crash just because anytime a market, when we think about crash, is usually when people lose their jobs. When people start losing jobs is when it starts crashing. And it's not just real estate, it's everything across the board. I do know that.
Not just the crash though. Are you bullish in buying in this market? I mean, look, if you're not, I can make an argument that there's a reason to buy and there's not a reason to buy. I mean,
I wouldn't,
for your opinion.
I mean, if I'm going to invest, I probably wouldn't buy this very second. It would have to be a deal.
Okay.
Right. But,
so Joey's saying there's first time home buyers with deals. That might be your category of people that are out there in the markets right now buying homes. You're saying an investor, somebody that's maybe buying a home that doesn't necessarily mean to downsize or upsize, or
like if you're looking to flip or like,
well, that's different.
Medium.
There's a different, but what I'm saying is, you're saying if you're buying a primary residence in this market and you're not one of those types of criteria, that you're probably going to wait.
No, what I'm saying is if I have money and I'm financially stable and I'm in a place where I'm ready to buy and that's my home, I'm going to buy when I'm ready to buy. I don't care what the market is. I care about if I'm financially stable or not. Because I could wait 2 years from now. What if I'm not? What if I don't have a job? What if I use my money? Then it doesn't matter what the market is. You buy when you're ready. Financially, you're stable. You have the income. You have a job. And you know that you can financially afford it. That's your market. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, and it always goes back to like what's the purpose of purchasing the home? Is it for you and your family? Are you going to live in
shelter.
it,
Shelter.
or is it an investment property? Right? Because I have this conversation a lot with people who are like, oh, the rates, oh, the prices. Like, well, what's your goal? Are you going to flip it in 30 days? No. 60 days? No. Oh, well, then what does it matter? Are you going to live in the home and enjoy it and live here in Las Vegas? Then buy the home, enjoy it, because look, everybody could be looking for the right deal, but the deal will never be as good as you think it should be, right? There's always going to be a trade-off, right. And we have so we call on homeowners that have a lot of equity or that are in notice of default, and we call on these people, and you would be surprised on what they think their home is valued at, right? So you're looking at a house,
right,
calling on it $500,000, right? Okay. Well, I got to make some repairs, no cost to you, this and that. This is what I'll purchase the house at, maybe like 400, right? I want 650. And you're like, well, where did you come up with that number? So even the people in the resale market, like overall, they're not like slamming the houses and like taking 50 cents on the dollar, like it was like in 2008, right? So people still see value in their homes. So I guess what I should say is why I'm saying this is because the market's not crashing. It's not like it's like imploding and like it's a 2008 and you're gonna have houses that were once like $20,000-$30,000 you could pick up a house out here, right? There's still a lot of support. People have jobs. People are still buying. We still have a decent absorption rate, so the values are still going to be there. We are in such an inflated market for such a long period of time that now they're just coming back down to reality because people aren't doing crazy things of paying $25,000-$50,000 above appraised value.
Another thing too, the inventory that we have, it did double, but also we forgot to mention that all that inventory is all dumped by investors that are trying to get rid of their properties. Those are not homes that are just families are just dumping and they're like, hey, we're moving. It's really investors that want to get the top dollar for their homes and they're trying to get rid of it. And that's where we saw that influx in properties.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we had, I think it was 11 hedge funds here that were just buying up properties.
That's crazy.
And as soon as the rates started ticking up, they all just flooded the market.
yeah, they did, literally.
Because, I mean, you can't go from 2,800 homes on the market to over 11,000 homes and all of a sudden everybody just wants to move at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
All right, we're going to keep moving on here. We got to go to our second. All right, so I just wanted to break that up real quick. Let's kind of move on to some bigger and better things. So we were talking about female mud wrestling last week, and we're going to continue. No, just like, we're not going to go through that. What we're gonna, no, we're not going to get into that. So we're going to talk about housing starts and new builds and some of the direction the builders are going. We're just going to throw this out, and we're going to talk about rates, and they're going to end the show. And with the female mud wrestling. No, we're not going to. Let's talk about what's happening with builders, right? So you have multi-family residence homes being built by builders because why? People want to buy into them, and what they want from them is they want to have a source of renting out the other units. And also it's easier to get into a house that way typically when you're doing that. So people know it. Rents are going up. People are looking for that. Investors. So you're seeing a lot of builders out there really trying to, it's the highest level of multi-family residence homes, 2, 3, 4 unit buildings, that's residential, that are being built by builders. Have you seen an influx, Joey, in duplex, triplex, fourplex homes being built by builders?
No, just multifamily.
Just
I mean, like, but like
4 unit?
No, more than that, like the big apartment complexes.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel that there's a lot of people out there trying to buy. Builders know that this is kind of where it's going, and there's not enough properties out there, especially with rents going up and all these things happening. People don't want to buy in these higher rates, so now you're looking at renters. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking,
I see that, like, I mean, just like anywhere else, I mean, on the 215, you see these massive apartment complexes going up. But I mean, I don't really see the fourplexes. I wish we had a lot more fourplexes because I get a tremendous amount of calls of people wanting to pick up investment properties, and there's just none here. You know, unless you go like on the east side of town or like around downtown.
Or the borderline of Summerlin, there's fourplexes right by Tivoli behind it.
Yeah.
Is there a deal with those high rises and the fourplexes right now? I know you were over. Where were you at? Turnberry? Where were you at right now when coming in from?
Mesa Ridge.
Mesa Ridge. Have you been out to Turnberry or into these high rises? Is there a market for that? Because there's not. I know that when people buy into it, typically lenders have an issue with lending in those. But are buyers out there looking for these types of properties?
I just closed on 2 units over at Panorama, and I had one listed, and I probably generated about 10 leads just from that one listing, and then I flipped one of them, and I'm closing on another one tomorrow. But it was pretty incredible. I mean, the demand for that particular building, maybe it's because of the location.
Okay.
But a lot of people were wanting to get in there. Now I have a listing over at Veer. Fortunately, it's been sitting for like 5 months. I had 2 showings.
Yeah.
So I guess it's maybe location specific, but I mean, I think the condo market, I don't know. I don't do a lot of condos. This was just kind of like a client of mine that I had taken the listing. So I wish I could get more of them because they sell really well.
Housing starts are up a bit. Builder confidence is down. Housing starts are just slightly up, but it seems like builders are starting to shift towards those, duplex, triplex, fourplex, multifamily homes. I don't know. Maybe this will be a continued trend because this is what I see is that buyers want that right now. And I think just in general, it's going to be interesting. Is builders really going to focus on that in Las Vegas? You said they're all older homes, 70s, right? Built in the 70s. Where, if they're building these new homes, where are they building them at? I know they're not building them as many here in Las Vegas. Do you know any builder sites that's going on right now?
For multifamily?
For multifamily.
No, I really don't.
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe they're building them in like the Midwest or other cities or other pockets. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's out there in the news that builders are starting to focus on that. It's going to be interesting to see if builders start to focus in Vegas on that because this is a big uptick.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I mean, land is super expensive. I mean, I know we went from like, what was it, like 250,000 an acre to over 500,000 an acre in the past 2 years. So I don't know how many fourplexes you got to build to make it pencil, but it'd be interesting.
Dude, would you live in a fourplex and then rent out the other three and just like, I mean,
I'm not that guy, pal.
with a family. No, with a family. Like if you got a family of, let's say 3 or 4, right? Would you live in a fourplex and then know that you're cash flowing on the other 3?
I'm
temporarily,
not that guy.
you wouldn't do it.
No.
You wouldn't suffer?
I'm not that guy. No.
How about you, Josh? Would you
I think I would.
You would do
But
that?
I don't have kids, so I mean.
You got 2 fur balls.
I do, but again, they're not kids that have to go to school.
That's
and,
true.
And do all the things that kids need to do. So I think for my family, it's something that we would consider because to your point, cash flow. I mean, if I woke up every month and there was 3 other plexes cash flowing me,
Yeah.
I may be into that for at least a year or 2.
Esmeralda, I could see you doing that. I could see you living out of one and
I
just being
do
a
because
landlord.
when I think about business, I'm about money, and I do admit what things make sense. It's not
Yeah.
always about. Now, I wouldn't put if I had a family where I had my kids, then no.
Sure.
Especially if it wasn't a place where I thought it was safe, or school zoning and things like that, because I do think that's important. But if it's where it's just temporary and
Dude, you're cutthroat, huh? I bet you should. Like, if you were a landlord, you'd show up at people's houses with like ready to fight, right?
I
Hey,
wouldn't.
you better give me my
I would
rent.
hire somebody. I wouldn't personally take care of it, to be honest. I would hire somebody to do all of that.
But it'd give you the flexibility to travel as
Yeah.
well. I mean, that's the way
That's
I think
huge.
that my wife and I would look at it.
That's the
I
thing,
mean, we
man.
could call this home, but at the same time, we could bob and weave.
And I think the younger generations are thinking that way.
Yeah. I going back to, I do get a lot of calls on the fourplex, and they want to live in one unit and then they want to rent out the other 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just rather just rent the whole dang thing out.
Yeah.
It's weird though. Like I think the younger generation too think different. They're a little bit more about like what's going on with the world. Global warming, financial stability. It's true.
Carbon
though.
footprint.
Yeah, it's true. Like when
We don't
my
have enough
generation, my generation's like, let's just do it now and just worry about it later. It's like whatever the aftermath is, we'll figure it out. Let's just go in and see what happens. But I don't know. I just think it's strategic a little bit more, and they're understanding things a little bit more. Maybe because the internet. I don't know. Maybe so. Let's go ahead and move over to our last topic here, and I want to talk about mortgage rates, and we'll end the show, and then we'll have the mud wrestling at the end. So Josh is waiting this whole time. That's why he came for. That's why Josh came.
That was the hook, Joey.
So rates are at 6%. So I'm going to go over here, and I want to show you guys. Everybody needs to understand. Well, I think everybody does, but they really need to look at this, right? So rates right now are over 6%, right? And what they're saying here with Freddie Mac is 0.8 in fees. That's in discount. That means it's going to cost you almost a point. You're buying a $500,000 home. It's going to cost you almost $5,000 to get the rate on Freddie Mac. You could see what are rates doing, people? They're going straight. Well, I wouldn't say straight up, but they're definitely increasing,
trending.
right? They're trending up. Now, everybody is rate sensitive. That's the new thing. They've always been. But when you have rates at mid 2s, 3.5, I feel that the Fed is going to raise rates again because inflation is not in check. And what is the impact going to have? Well, we could hit 7.5%. Do I think it's going to stay there? No, I think it's going to come back down. We're going to probably level off around 5. What is that going to impact? How is that going to impact people out there buying a house? And I'll start with you, Joey. Do you think it's going to even retract people even more, where we're going to have even a bigger problem with buyers, including first-time home buyers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to look at that. They're going to see 6.5. I mean, this is all credit base, right? So depending on where you land with your credit, if you're like right in the middle, if you got a 640, 650, I mean, where would that put you? 6.8?
Dude, I don't even, like, what is the payment on that thing? It's like $3,000 on a $500,000 loan
Yeah.
if you're putting a minimum. I mean, look.
No, at a 7%, it's a lot more than that.
I think with
7%.
taxes, insurance,
500,000?
HOA, all that. I mean,
You're looking like $3,300.
Yeah.
$3,500.
Easy.
So let me say this.
On a $500,000 home. So, yeah. So the first time home buyer is going to be sitting there going, wow, well, we're paying $2,500 a month for rent. And then we got to come up with 5%, 10%, 15%, whatever the number is on top of that, just to buy a house. And then we're going to be increasing our payment by $1,000 or $1,200. Does it make sense to us? Does it make financial sense?
Well, I can say this, maybe not. And you might just want to stay put, right? I mean, because what if rates come back down? That could be the argument. Also, like I said, I got two arguments for both sides. What if you have a fixed payment and rates continue to go up and at least you're fixed at that time? Because your rent may increase $1,000 or $1,500 over the next year.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Listen, people out there know, like, that's a huge jump. It's a risk. Vegas is known for having people that are landlords raising rents aggressively. And so, again, is it $1,000 more? No, I think there's a common ground there. But again, if you want to pay yourself forward, cost of shelter we know is going up. But if you're banking on rates coming down, I don't know. I mean, it's a hard decision. And I think that's where people are at. They're completely on the fence. And it's like, well, if I do this way, it might work out for me. But if I go this way, it also might work out. So I guess I don't know what to do.
Right.
You know?
So a lot of people, and I've actually had a few clients recently that got the ARM. So they're betting on those rates coming down in the next 3 years or 5 years.
Yeah, and an ARM is an adjustable rate mortgage. So it's fixed for a certain amount of years, then it adjusts. What you're saying is they're waiting for rates to come down so that way they can take advantage of that better rate, because by the time it hits that adjustment period, they're not going to
just refinance it. They're going to refinance it to a lower rate to where they'll never be exposed to the high rate of today.
So I see rates going up. I mean, are you guys worried about rates going up with the economy? Like your industry is title.
Yeah.
Are you worried that are you guys, let's be honest, are you slow?
Yeah, we've seen that it definitely has decreased in the momentum of deals. Absolutely, it has. And if rates continue to go up and you have the consumer that's not comfortable, based on what the interest rate, because the monthly payment might not be what their goal is, then yeah, there's not going to be momentum the way we want it to be. That is
I mean,
accurate.
you're not worried about your job though, like where we have a mass exodus happening, or I think right now with real estate agents, lenders, title reps, but you're not worried about it, huh?
I mean, I can only worry about what I can control.
There you go.
That's it. I'm not going to sit here every day and be stressed out about something I don't have control. I'm at the Fed with the interest rate. Yeah. I'd be like, we're back to 1, everybody.
Well, I can say one thing. Josh doesn't have to worry about no mass exodus. Yeah. Alcohol will always be available. Always.
The good times.
We're all going to join Josh's team next year. Like in the next 4 months, I should say.
Dude, I'm sold on
Whiskey
tequila.
and mud wrestling.
I'm telling you, man. You get that going. Flavia. What is it?
But listen, I mean, I will just add to that every day I scrub pricing because interest rates on trucking are going up. So interest rates are going up everywhere. And I understand that housing is the biggest purchase, but the average interest rate on a car purchase is 8.5%. The average interest increase on rent is 10%. Our credit cards or whatever they are, 18-20%. I mean, so you said it, Dan, rate sensitive, but I think everybody should really look at the rates of everything else that's around us. And it's all going to continue to go up. I mean, a bottle of whiskey that was $35 2 months ago is $39. Why? Because the gas going up, the trucking's going up, shipping containers are going up. It's all going up.
I got to say this. So we're going to end the show. We're going to go around the room and say everybody's last thoughts. I want to say that shout out to Tim Hunold. Tim said that he's a Flaviar member. He just signed up. Because you showed up. You got a new member, and Tim's the Taco Tuesday man. And he also wants to bring up, about Taco Bell used ground beef because Americans had soft palates. Dude, who would have known that? You know what I mean? So Tim, you are the man. You are the shining star of our show tonight. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Thanks, Tim. Do we know Tim's information? I'll drop him a little something from Flaviar if Tim wants to hit us offline.
I'm going to put Josh's information in the comment section. So I need to get that. You guys need to, Tim, you need to hit up Josh, get that all set up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, let's keep going down here a little bit. Zach Martinez says, Dan, you're talking about seltzers. Of course. Good job, man. I was like, dude, I was dumbfounded over here. Also, let's keep going down here. DJ, so what's up with the Pulte mortgage loan consultants quitting on you? I don't know, man. I think that rates have gone 6%. I think everybody's checked out. I think lenders are gone. 60% of the industry's failed. And, I don't know what's happening, but Pulte might have some issues there. I don't know, man. You got to talk to us about that. Lincoln Darla. First, second, third, fourth home. Wow, you've purchased a lot. Fifth home. Man, you're firing off homes over here.
Can I sell you your sixth?
Jeez, yeah. Joey wants to sell. Joey wants a 6 out there. So Lincoln Darla, dude, firing off over here. Fifth home, 2022, 1.2 million. Joey, you need to call this guy, or you guys need to connect. Dude.
Yeah, we need to connect. Drop my comment, my information in the comments.
Info, baby, info. And then running at altitude. Dude, we love running at altitude. He retracted his message, or some message retracted. But shout out to everybody. Verstar. Did we say Verstar? Long term, he says you're going to win on a mortgage loan, on a house, buying a house. I wouldn't say a loan, but a house.
On a house. I agree.
Out there to Ver. You guys have any last comments?
Where's the mud wrestling? I was promised mud wrestling.
I know, man.
Do we leave our clothes on, or do we take them off?
How else was I going to get here? I mean, if you don't care about seeing a hairy back and I'll put a wig on, you're good. So you're
no
not
comments, just happy to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Esmeralda Lacia, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. We'll see you guys next show.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Joey.
Peace out.
Dude, how does somebody get a hold of you, bro?
Well, just leave all my information in the comments below, please. I should hold up like a comment or like a contact card,
Dude, that's what you should do. That's a good idea.
Mugs, like with
Yeah,
the name.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what we're going to do, Dan.
Right,
Dude, and then it says French workbench, and it goes all the way across, and nobody can see anything because there's so many letters. It's like French workbench all the way around. It's like, well, where's my name at, dude? Like, do I got a name, So, anyways, you guys out there, this is the most real behind-the-scenes information for financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs. For Mr. Joey Andron, Mr. Josh Katz, and Esmeralda Lacia. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
Cheers, everyone.
We're out of here.
Like.
Thank you for watching the French Workbench Podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there, a lot of good information, and you can find us on audio-only options through SoundCloud